Welcome to D Cowboys LA Radio. I'm your host Eric Trujillo, coming to you with episode number 13. Took an episode off. I was supposed to have a draft special with Mark Dalgarian from a sports NFL. He's actually an NFL Network employee, and he also works for Optimum Sports Scouting. Unfortunately, his schedule is really busy, and we weren't able to get the show done. But I do have a little treat for you guys. We're gonna go over a first round mock draft and see who the Cowboys end up with. We get to make the pick. I get to make the selection, and it's kind of interesting where they have the teams ranking. They're predicting as of now. So I will get into that towards the end of the show, but right now I want to address a couple of things that have happened since last week. We were on bye week and we were still on TV constantly, and Skip Bayless must love to talk about the Cowboys. We were on bye, and that's all he talked about. Him and Shannon Sharp attacked Dez Bryant and said that Dez Bryant and Tony Romo needed to be traded. Now, we are approaching the trade deadline, and this is maybe why they brought it up, but I thought it was hilarious. Skip and Shannon Sharp say that the Cowboys no longer need Dez Bryant or Tony Romo. And that I laughed. And the reason it sparked was because, of all people, Donovan McNabb said that's what we should do. Yeah, because that's who we want to listen to. Donovan McNabb, a salty QB who never got a Super Bowl and can't hold anything up to Tony Romo's stats. He's the last guy that needs to be talking. I remember, he's a rival fan. He probably wants him to be traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. He's probably trying to find a way to get Dez Bryant to the Philadelphia Eagles. And he knows that if we cut Tony Romo, we're setting ourselves to a little setback for maybe a year to two while Dak keeps learning. Never in the history of the NFL has a rookie won a Super Bowl. So I laugh because Shannon attacks him and says, "You need to get him out of that locker room. He's been late. I was never late." I. Shannon Sharp, bro. If it wasn't for Terrell Davis, you would have never got it. If it wasn't for TD and John Elway, he would have never got a Super Bowl. He would have never got those 2 Super Bowls. But that's all he talks about. I. And Skip, he says, "I throw up the X. I used to be a Dez Bryant fan." You're no longer a fan because Dez called you out on Twitter. And now you make it a point to call him out on every show. So I'm not really one to sit here. I like to talk pretty much game planning and what we have to do to win the game and why we won the game. But I thought, since it was a bye week, I'd have a little bit different of a talk on here. And I thought that one actually made me want to just get up and write right away. But had to wait it out and look at the situation, see what was going to be done. And I thought that was silly. And I think what made it sad is that, I did see the video on YouTube, and a bunch of Cowboys fans were like, "Yeah, that's right. Let's trade Dez. Let's get a first round pick. Let's get something." And man, it's just sad how quickly we turn on our players. Dez is Cowboys football. He bleeds it. And he was late to practices to treatment because he felt like he didn't need the treatment, or he didn't want to find out if something was really wrong with his knee. He just wanted to play. And I've been there before. I've been the player that's like, "Hey, you need to go get that X-ray on that knee." You don't want to go. I'm walking. So these are the things that they're saying that we need to trade Tony and Dez for. Tony's old and done. That's what they said. And Dez is a distraction. And it's funny when they say, "Oh, he rants off on the sideline." I can only recall one time where he was mad about something, and D-Ware kind of had to grab him and be like, "Hey, you need to relax." And that was a very long time ago because D-Ware was still on the team. But Dez has passion, and he's just the kind of person that's going to pump up his teammates. So for these guys to say, "Oh, this is the negative impact he has," man, thank goodness for DallasCowboys.com, who actually shows you the side of the players, what they say, what they're doing. Because I understand why some fans probably never go on DallasCowboys.com and they get all their info off of Skip Bayless or ESPN, where they have a skewed view where it's always, they love to talk Cowboys, but it's never positive. And I think it's so crazy that now that we're doing something good, it's like, oh, let's turn the fans on each other and make it about just Dak and Zeke versus Dez and Tony, as opposed to like this is all one team. And when these guys all get back together, it's gonna be the thing that takes us over to the next level. So as a fan, please don't give into this. Don't buy into the Dez trading, the Tony Romo's trading. That's not what we need to do as an organization. We're not there yet. You think because we beat the Bears and the 49ers and the Washington Redskins that we're a good team? We haven't proved nothing yet. The Packers couldn't beat the Bears on Monday night. They beat them, but they couldn't just beat them. That's without, and then Hoyer went out and it was still a close game. Something is wrong up there in Packerland. The Bengals, I thought was a good win. I think they're a good team, but they're not world beaters. If we're gonna play the Bengals every game for the rest of the year, yeah, we'd be Super Bowl chance. But that's not what's gonna happen. We're about to play this Eagles team that is very good. I hate to say it, but they're good. Their defense is really good, and Peterson will find a way to exploit our defense. They'll get points up on the board, so we're gonna have to come with it. And let's not forget about the Patriots. I don't see anybody beating that team. And that's going to lead me into my draft. So we did a first round mock draft, all 32 teams. Guess who they have winning the Super Bowl? The Philadelphia Eagles. So in this game, we go to in this scenario where we drafted, we went to the NFC Championship to play the Eagles one more time. They beat us, and then they played the Patriots for the Super Bowl and beat the Patriots. So they picked 32. So I'll start off with their pick. They ended up picking running back Royce Freeman, so they got a running back for them. Washington went out earlier in the rounds. They picked up Christian McCaffrey, which I would hate that. That would be a great, solid pick for them. And then, of course, the New York Giants get the guy that I wanted us to get, which would be Derek Barnett, edge rusher from Tennessee. That's a nightmare at that point in time if those three guys end up on the Eagles, the Redskins, and the Giants. Now that's the bad part of the draft. Now who did we pick? So we picked 30th in this draft. I didn't have a whole lot to pick from. All the edge rushers I wanted were gone. Derek Barnett was the guy I was hoping would last somewhere, but he went 12th to the Giants in my mock draft. I was hoping I could get Reuben Foster, linebacker from Alabama. He was gone. Eddie Jackson, safety from Alabama. He was gone. So at 30, I thought to myself, who can I pick that's going to be a starter for this team and impact straight? Well, I know we need pass rush, but at this point, I'm not picking for need. Who was a starter, who was a bona fide starter and a stud, and I picked Adoree Jackson from USC, cornerback. This kid is a playmaker on the defensive side of the ball. He can return punts. He can return kicks. We need some more players like that on defense. We need guys that can make plays. He's quick. He's a small guy, but he's quick. He breaks on the ball. He's nasty. And that's something I think that we need. And we need cornerbacks. Because if we don't sign Mo and we don't sign Carr, we're going to be in need. We're going to be in need for DBs. So with him, we're looking at Anthony Brown, Orlando Scandrick, and Adoree Jackson as our starters. Maybe we get Mo for the right price. And I'm happy with those 4 cornerbacks there. And then maybe we can take another one later in the draft or make some kind of signing. I'll take Sterling Moore back to be our 5th cornerback. And then you'll have Byron as your starter. And hopefully we could work something out with Barry Church or once again round 2 or 3. I wanted to go linebacker round 1. Because we need linebackers. And I know that we have one in Jalen Smith, but we don't know if he's going to play. But if Jalen plays, then I'm pushing linebacker back as something that we need. Because I think that'd be a really nice core. We pretty much play dime. If you watch the game, it's very rare that we're in our base 4-3. So it would be coming from left to right for you. It would be Anthony Brown. Left end would end up being DeMarcus Lawrence. Then Malik Collins. Terrell McLean, and Randy Gregory. I still have faith in this kid, and that would be our lineup that I would see coming off that right edge. And then across to your right, Orlando Scandrick with Adoree Jackson coming in as nickel, Jalen Smith, Sean Lee, Byron Jones, and hopefully Barry Church in that safety spot. When you put it out there like that, those are a lot of high picks. Those are a lot of first, second round picks that are in there. With DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, Malik Collins might as well be a second round pick. He was a high third round pick. Adoree Jackson first round. And if we can get Mo in there, that'd be great. Another first, and we're starting to build a solid D. If the Jalen Smith pick comes through, and Tapper, I don't know if he'll be healthy enough to ever play again. It's sad. That's kind of what it seems like. They don't know if he'll ever play again. But if he brings what he brought at Oklahoma, then we have something to kind of build off of. And that's only round 1. I haven't even got to round 2 or 3, and I will continue to do so throughout the season as we get closer to the end of it, and we have a closer idea of where we're to be picking. This is, of course, all ifs and buts. But tell me what you think. Hit me up on Twitter at LACowboy1986. Let me know who you would have liked to pick, and I'll let you know if he was even available. I have it saved on here. It's always a fun thing to do drafts, and I know it's so early, but it was a bye weekend. It was just something to do and talk about while you're on here. So just to recap, guys, Cowboys Nation, we stick together. It's okay to support Dak and say that he runs the offense really well when thinking, but I still want Tony to come back. And it's okay to not listen to the rest of the fans who want us to get rid of Dez. That's what they want us to do. They want us to bust a Chip Kelly and get rid of all our stud players. That's not what we're going to do here. So let's stick together, Cowboys Nation. This is episode number 13. I will be coming with you Thursday for preparation for the Eagles game. I'm going to go over the Washington game, see what they did, how they were able to run the ball on them, and also this previous game with the Vikings on how the Vikings were able to they pretty much stopped their offense all day long, but they made so many mistakes that they weren't able to overcome. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for listening. I appreciate every single person that comes on and takes a listen to the podcast. Tune in with me Thursday as we cover preparation for the Eagles Sunday night game. Go Cowboys.